Good evening and welcome to the 2021 Division III Men's Lacrosse Selection Show. I'm your host, Will Haskett. Tonight, the journey to a national title continues for 31 teams who hope to add their name to the celebrated list of national champions. Cabrini has held the trophy now for 2 years with no championship last season, but who will end 2021 as a champ? It is a tough field to get into, with 28 of our 31 bids already awarded to conference automatic qualifiers. That leaves just 3 precious at-large bids to hand out tonight. First round games start next Saturday at 8 host site locations, and from there we'll whittle it down to a national champion. That championship will be held in East Hartford, Connecticut on May the 30th. With first round action beginning next weekend, let's not slow the process down, shall we? Let's get right into the bracket. We unveil first the only team worthy of a bye into the second round this year. That belongs to RIT, twice a national runner-up. A run back to the championship game started with a Liberty League championship and the AQ that comes with it. The win was the 9th straight league championship for the Tigers, who did it with domination in all facets of the game, winning by a score of 19-6. The Tigers won 23 of 29 faceoffs. They went 1 for 1 man up and cleared the ball 19 of 20 attempts in that win. They will meet the winner of a game that starts with SUNY Cortland. The 2006 and 2009 national champions return for a 29th time, again as the top team in the SUNYAC all season. The Dragons were dominant at times, leading the conference in both offense and defense and sporting a +6 scoring margin this season. They will battle UMass Boston in the opener, the Little East champs earning a first tournament berth after a thrilling 14-13 win in the conference championship. Gavin Admiran was the MVP, including the go-ahead goal in the fourth quarter. An at-large bid to hand out right now, so one goes off the board. Rest easy, Colorado College. After perhaps a nervous wait, the Tigers return to the tournament after missing out in 2018 and snagged the Pool B berth. The Tigers wanted to send a message in their last game, and they did, scoring 31 goals in the SCAC championship victory last weekend. That will be a hard total match against Transylvania. Make it 4 in a row now for the champions of the Heartland Collegiate Men's Lacrosse Conference. Denison unveiled next, death, taxes, and the Big Red in this bracket. 26th appearance for the NCAC champs, who held off Kenyon 12-10 in the championship to earn the spot. Wins come from opportunities, and no team gives itself better starts than Denison, which led the nation this year in face-off winning percentage. And that will be certainly a big thing to watch every year in the postseason. They travel to the site of these 4 games. That would be Center, the Southern Athletic Association champs, returning the tournament for the first time since 2014 and for the 3rd time overall. Our next group of 4 teams has just 1 loss between them all, headlined by Tufts. A shortened season in the NESCAC, but the Jumbos earning the all-important AQ to advance to the tournament for the 13th time. 3-time national champions all since 2010. Tufts averaged over 25 goals per game this season, leading the nation, albeit the sample size was a bit small. Babson will be the opponent coming up for Tufts. They will travel to the host of this site. That belongs to St. John Fisher, the Empire 8 champions, rolling through the conference tournament, including a 20-6 win earlier today in the championship game. Nicholas Miller led the way with 4 goals in that Empire 8 championship. SUNY Maritime will be the opponent, the Skyline Conference automatic qualifier, marking back-to-back tournament trips for the program after earning its first back in 2019. That led to the program's first tournament win, a dramatic overtime thriller. All right, our next 4 starts with a strong season again for York, the MAC Commonwealth champs, earning a trip to their 6th NCAA tournament. Jack Michael anchors the D in goal, top 10 in the country in goals against. The team surrenders less than 6 scores per game. And that D will face LaSalle in the opening round, just the 2nd tournament appearance all time for the GNAC Conference automatic qualifier, which led their conference in scoring at nearly 15 goals per game. It was even sweeter for the Lasers to get it done against Norwich, which had beaten them in the 2019 final to deny them a trip to the tournament. 2 long years of waiting, paying off with a 15-7 win and another trip to the NCAA tournament. John Carroll is back. The OAC champions earning the AQ head back to the NCAA tournament for a 5th time. This year will help to have the nation's leading goal-scoring threat. Skylar Blake has incredibly scored over 6.5 goals per game this season, which leads the country. His offense heads to the host of these games. That would be Franklin and Marshall. A perfect trip to the Centennial Conference, earning the AQ in the 7th tournament appearance for this long-standing program. All right, so half of the bracket unveiled there. We go to the second half of it, and a lot of respect at the top line for Lynchburg this season. They'll also be the host here of these upcoming first and second round games. 2015 national runner-ups are hoping for a May 30th date in Connecticut following another ODAC title. It was the 8th conference title for the Hornets, who raced out to a 9-1 lead in the first half. They never looked back, earning the program's 14th NCAA tournament bid as a result. Patrick Moore will be called upon in goal, the last line of defense for a team giving up just over 7 goals per game. That D gets Pfeiffer in the opener, the USA South champs earning an automatic qualifying berth and the program's first ever tournament berth. Congratulations, thanks in large part to the nation's leading point getter. They've got Jared Nelson on the roster, nearly 9.5 points per game, many of them off of his 6.9 assists per game. Both of those averages were tops in the nation. Stevens is heading to Lynchburg, the MAC Freedom champion, earning its 11th berth to the tournament in school history. Ryan Gebhardt and Jack Savarese were top 5 in the conference in goals this season, while this team was solid fundamentally across the board. Top 10 in the nation in assists and ground balls. A lot to like about what this team brings to the table coming up in the postseason. They'll face an undefeated team. Catholic has not lost and will play Stevens in the opener. The Landmark Conference champions got 6 goals from tournament MVP Kevin Crowley to secure the bid, which is the 3rd for the Cardinals all time. Our next host is also a team snagging a precious at-large bid. Hello to Stevenson. It took the at-large berth to keep the streak alive, but Stevenson dancing for the 12th straight time and are hopeful this berth is the start of a second championship run, having hoisted the trophy back in 2013. They got a tough opponent waiting for them. Keene is coming to town, almost a generation removed from the program's first and only tournament appearance. The Colonial States champs return to the tournament for the first time since 2008. Endicott makes the trip here as well. 9-4 win in the CCC championship returns the goals to the tournament for the first time since 2017. 5 first-half goals was all that it took, especially when Austin Fournier was spectacular in goal. He had 10 saves, helped his defense hold rival Western New England scoreless until the 4:32 mark of the second quarter. He will be needed to step up big for the goals if they are to make a deep tournament run. And they will face a team about to explode with joy. Our final at-large berth comes off the board, and it belongs to Christopher Newport. No doubt celebrating loudly right now. Probably not hearing any of the upcoming superlatives. The captains recently made their first ever coast-to-coast conference championship game. 3 members of the team earning all tournament honors, including Max Wayne on the defensive side. He anchors a unit that forced nearly 13 turnovers per game this season, tops in the conference and top 25 in the nation. 8 to go to the Midwest we head. Illinois Wesleyan gets a hosting slot. They captured the CCIW championship, the Titans did, to return to the tournament for the 4th straight time, but it was certainly not easy. Despite outshooting North Central 77-42 in the championship game, it went to overtime. And it was Daniel Dickerson who got to be the hero in that one. He scored the game winner, which wouldn't have been possible if not for a game and perhaps season-saving save from Will Harris that made the golden goal possible. Harris will man the goal against Northwestern St. Paul. Congrats to the automatic qualifier from the Midwest Lacrosse Conference, earning the program's first NCAA tournament berth. Easy travel west for a hope, the MIAA AQ returning for a 2nd consecutive tournament to battle Benedictine as the history keeps pouring in for the Eagles this season, who hear their name called for the first time in program history after capturing the NACC regular season and postseason crowns for the first time. Colin Domick was selected as the NACC Offensive Player of the Year, and head coach Chris Button was selected as the Coach of the Year in just his 3rd season. Domick scored a team-leading 45 goals despite missing a pair of contests during the season. He was also 2nd on the team in assists. 4 teams to go, and a powerhouse quartet begins with Salisbury. The streak continues for the Seagulls, who won the Coast-to-Coast Championship and the AQ that came with it. Not that a team which hasn't missed a tournament since 1988 needs any more help, but Salisbury is in pursuit of its 13th national title, which would extend its program record. Jack Dowd had a career-high 7 points in the victory to secure the automatic qualifier. He is picking the right time to peak heading into the NCAA tournament, where SUNY Poly will be the opening opponent. A perfect season was capped with the perfect game for the Wildcats, a 25-8 win over Husson in the NAC championship to punch the program's first ticket to the NCAA tournament. These games will be hosted by Cabrini as the champs are back and will have a chance to defend their title, outscoring their opponents by 30 goals en route to the Atlantic East Championship this past weekend. That shouldn't come as a surprise for a team with a +11 scoring margin this year leading the conference. This marks the 19th tournament appearance all-time for the Cavaliers. And the pursuit of back-to-back titles starts with Grove City after capturing the President's Athletic Conference title in 2019 to earn their first ever NCAA berth. The Wolverines certainly had no interest in missing the field again this year. They won 19-6 in the conference tournament championship to secure the return trip. All right, there you have it, 31 teams. They are still alive in pursuit of a national championship, and they will get to prepping very quickly with games starting on campus sites this coming Saturday. The second round is 1 day later. It'll only take 2 weeks to arrive at our final 2 teams, who will head to East Hartford, Connecticut for the championship on May 30th at Pratt & Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field. You can watch that game right here on NCAA.com. As always, it promises to be an exciting tournament. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Will Haskett. Congratulations and best of luck to all the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
For the win!
If a champion can teach us anything, it's to stay hungry, to keep our resolve, and to prepare for what's next. So to the players in the college sports community who never stop believing, the end goal is in sight, the ultimate rally, a comeback for all ages. For the fans, the teams, and most importantly, the players. Let's bring on the next champion. We're ready.